Every single day, roughly 130 million tons of food waste ends up in landfills across the globe. 130 million tons, rotting away, generating methane, contributing to climate change, taking up space that could be used for almost anything else. And here is the remarkable part. That waste, every banana peel, every coffee ground, every wilted lettuce leaf, contains the exact ingredients needed to create the most powerful soil amendment known to agriculture. We throw away black gold. We pay companies to haul it to landfills. And then we turn around and spend billions of dollars buying synthetic fertilizers to replace the nutrients we just discarded. This is composting made easy. And today, you are going to learn how to set up your first bin or pile. The science of composting is not complicated. It is not mysterious. It is, in fact, one of the oldest and most fundamental processes on Earth. Decomposition. The breaking down of organic matter into its component nutrients. Every forest floor is a compost pile. Every meadow, every wetland, every ecosystem on this planet relies on the exact same process you are about to harness in your own backyard. The basic chemistry works like this. You combine carbon-rich materials, often called browns, with nitrogen-rich materials, called greens. You add water and oxygen. Billions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes, go to work. They consume the organic matter, multiply, die, and in doing so transform waste into humus. Rich, dark, crumbly material that holds moisture, improves soil structure, and releases nutrients slowly over time. The Romans knew about this process. They called it stercorarium. The Chinese have documented composting methods dating back over 4,000 years. And modern soil science has confirmed what traditional farmers always understood. Compost is not just fertilizer. It is a living biological system that transforms soil from dead dirt into thriving ecosystem. Let me walk you through exactly how to set up your first composting system. You have two main options, a contained bin or an open pile. Both work, both produce excellent compost. The choice depends on your space, your aesthetic preferences, and how much material you plan to process. For an open pile, you need a space roughly 3 feet by 3 feet. This is the minimum size for efficient composting. Below this volume, the pile cannot generate and maintain the internal heat necessary for rapid decomposition. Larger is fine, smaller struggles. Choose a location with good drainage, partial shade if possible, and reasonable proximity to your kitchen. You will be walking out there with scraps. Make it convenient. For a contained bin, your options range from simple wire mesh cylinders to rotating tumbler drums to elaborate multi-chamber systems. For your first bin, I recommend simplicity. A basic plastic or wooden bin with ventilation holes, costing anywhere from $30 to $100, will serve you perfectly well. Place it on bare earth if possible, allowing soil organisms direct access to the pile. Now the magic ratio. Carbon to nitrogen, 30 to 1 is the ideal. What does that mean in practical terms? Roughly 3 parts brown material to 1 part green material by volume. Browns include dried leaves, straw, cardboard, newspaper, wood chips, and dried grass. Greens include kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, coffee grounds, and fresh plant trimmings. Too much green, your pile becomes wet, slimy, and smells terrible. Too much brown, decomposition slows to a crawl. The ratio matters. Here is how you build your first pile. Start with a layer of coarse browns, twigs, small branches, rough wood chips. This creates air channels at the bottom. Add 4 to 6 inches of mixed browns. Dried leaves are perfect. Then add 2 to 3 inches of greens. Kitchen scraps work wonderfully. Cover the greens with another layer of browns. This controls odors and discourages pests. Repeat this layering process as you accumulate materials. Always finish with browns on top. Water the pile as you build. The moisture level should resemble a wrung-out sponge. Damp but not dripping. Squeeze a handful. If water streams out, it is too wet. If it feels dry and crumbly, add more water. Proper moisture is critical. Too dry and microbial activity stops. Too wet, and you create anaerobic conditions that produce foul odors and slow decomposition. The oxygen question. Your pile needs air. Aerobic decomposition with oxygen is faster, hotter, and produces no offensive smells. Anaerobic decomposition without oxygen is slow, cold, and smells like rotting garbage. Turn your pile every week or two using a garden fork. Move outer material to the center. Break up any clumps. This distributes moisture, introduces oxygen, and accelerates the process. If you prefer a more passive approach, you can skip turning entirely. Cold composting works. It just takes 6 months to a year instead of 6 to 8 weeks. What goes in the bin? Almost all plant-based kitchen waste. Vegetable scraps, fruit peels, coffee grounds and filters, tea bags, eggshells, stale bread, pasta, rice. Yard waste including leaves, grass clippings, small prunings and dead plants. Paper products like newspaper, cardboard, paper towels and napkins. Hair and fur from brushes. These all break down beautifully. What stays out? Meat, fish, and bones attract pests and create odor problems. Dairy products do the same. Oils and fats slow decomposition. Pet waste contains pathogens you do not want in your garden. Diseased plants can spread problems. Invasive weeds may survive the composting process. Coal ash contains harmful compounds. When in doubt, leave it out. The timeline varies based on your approach. Hot composting, with regular turning and careful attention to ratios and moisture, produces finished compost in 4 to 8 weeks. Cold composting, the set-it-and-forget-it method, takes 6 months to 2 years. Both produce excellent results. Choose the approach that fits your lifestyle. How do you know when it is finished? Finished compost is dark brown to black, crumbly in texture, and smells earthy and pleasant. You should not be able to identify the original materials. If you can still recognize banana peels or leaves, it needs more time. The volume will reduce by 50 to 70% during the process. Do not be alarmed. This is normal. Using your finished compost is pure joy. Mix it into garden beds at a rate of 2 to 4 inches per year. Use it as a top dressing around established plants. Add it to potting mixes at a ratio of 1 part compost to 3 parts soil. Create compost tea by steeping a handful in water for a day, then using the liquid as a gentle fertilizer. Your plants will respond with vigor you have never seen before. The troubleshooting guide is short. If your pile smells bad, it is too wet, or has too much green material. Add browns and turn it. If nothing seems to be happening, it is too dry, or has too much brown material. Add greens, add water, and turn it. If pests are a problem, bury food scraps in the center of the pile, and ensure browns cover the top. These issues are easy to fix. Let me leave you with this thought. Every tomato you grow in compost-enriched soil contains nutrients that were once coffee grounds and banana peels and autumn leaves. You are closing a loop that industrial agriculture broke. You are participating in a cycle as old as terrestrial life itself. 30% of household waste is compostable. That is material that never needs to see a landfill again. The barriers to composting are mostly imagined. You do not need special equipment. You do not need a large yard. You do not need expert knowledge. You need a corner of space, some organic waste, and a willingness to let nature do what nature does. The microorganisms will handle the chemistry. The worms will show up uninvited. The fungi will spread their networks through the pile. Your job is simply to provide the ingredients and the patience. Start today. Start with whatever container you have available. Start with your next meal's scraps. The forest floor has been composting for 400 million years. It will teach you everything you need to know. Thanks for watching. If this helped you,